Welcome back, everybody. If you're new here, my name's Ben. This is 406 Garage. We buy, sell, rescue old International Harvester trucks, travelals, and scouts, and we like to tell you guys the stories. Today's story is a special one. I guess I'd use the term like unicorn farts, or rarer than hen's teeth, or all those other little analogies. So back in the 50s, International Harvester was one of the first companies to build a true like crew cab truck. It was actually a 3-door, but like a crew cab, called the Travelette. And they made them in 57, 58, and 59. They were an A series, and then subsequently, 59 to 61 became a B series. But the early ones, there was the A100s, and then there was I think there was A110s and then A120s. The 120s were the 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive, the 110s were the half-ton 4-wheel drive, and the 100s were the half-ton 2-wheel drive. Now they made them 57, 58, and early 59, and crazy enough, they made 72. 7-2. That's all they made. Of the 72, 50 were 4-wheel drive, and 22, is that the right math? 50, 20, yeah, 22 22 of them were 2-wheel drive. I'm going to tell you guys more of the story when my friend Chase gets here. He's going to be here shortly, and we'll show you the truck and everything else. But I bought a 1957 A100 Travelette, one of 22 ever built. It came out of a farm in South Dakota, and I believe it has been sitting there for the better part of 50 years. The license plates say 1965. I don't know if that's the last time it was on the road, or if that's just the last time it was registered, or whatnot. But rarer than rare. It's rough, I'm gonna warn you guys, but it is complete, and you can't get one. So whenever they come up, which is never in my lifetime, I've never had the opportunity to buy one. And my friend Chase was headed that way already for something else, and we talked, and he agreed we needed to save it. I'll get more into that in a little bit. I'll let him kind of talk to that piece, but stay tuned, because this is going to be a really good episode, and you guys are going to see something that not many people ever get to see. All right, boys and girls, here it is. Alright, we'll get into this in a minute. Alright, so I'm standing here with my buddy Chase. He doesn't want to be on camera, which is totally fine. The story of this, Chase knows better than I do. Basically what happened was, the guy that was selling this for the property, that was his boot, by the way. The guy that was selling all these trucks for the property owners posted a picture of this on Facebook, and it went viral, I guess you could call it that. It just, everybody was tagging me, everybody was tagging him, because Chase rescues a lot of rare unicorn type stuff all the time. And so for me, the easiest thing to do was I just called him and said, what do we need to do to go grab this? Because he was going to go grab it anyway. So how did you find it initially? Like, where did it get sent to you, or?
No, it never does, unfortunately. I was actually so close to you. I was in Walla Walla with a truck on my trailer, and 6 hours headed back to my place, and And then I found out this ordeal of it's got until tomorrow to get out of where it is.
Yeah, so that was the funny thing about the story. Is the guy posted it up, and for whatever reason he said this has to be picked up by 12 noon the following day. So it's about a 24-hour notice, roughly, somewhere around there. Had to be picked up within 24 hours. Otherwise, all these things, there was a bunch of other things there, are going to the crusher, which turns out that was not necessarily exactly what the story was.
Yeah, I ended up finding out on the way home. It was a bit of the heat of the moment, the way it was texted to him. It was a buddy who knew a car crusher guy, and he was like, hey, these cars are going to end up being crushed. It's got to get out of there. And he's like, be there tomorrow. He quickly took it as, be there tomorrow or it's going to get crushed. And then,
which was not the case.
After that, it went downhill. He got a hold of the guy's number and wasn't sure who was going where or who was really going to go for it. So the number ended up getting out to over 60 people.
Right, and that's where the confusion started with everybody else, because his number got passed over to all these different guys.
That guy wasn't happy.
And he wasn't happy because his name and number was being passed out, and his phone's blowing up over all this other stuff that's in the background and whatever.
I'd say 25% of those guys leaked the number further.
Yeah.
They got 60,000 views on the original Travelette page it was on.
Right.
Then it got shared to pages with analytics of like 135,000 primer, rust, and rat rods.
Yeah.
From there, it just went haywire.
So, like I told you guys earlier on this video before Chase got here, the reason that the international guys all went berserko is, like I was saying, so they made 72 of these trucks in 57, 58, and 59, early 59. Of the 72, 50 of them were four-wheel drive and 22 were two-wheel drive. So this truck, by all ventures of the numbers, is one of 22 that was ever made. Now, it's rough, it's dented, it's crunched, it's rusty, there's a lot of things about it that are a bummer. But at the same time, other than wheels and tires, it's all here. And that fender's the same on the other trucks. That fender's not unique to this truck. So we can get a fender, we can get a headlight bezel, we can fix that little cowl piece. Now, the only part that's going to be tough on this, and Chase and I already talked about this earlier, and it's not tough like it's impossible, but this whole lower quarter, which is specific to this truck, is going to have to be repaired. I think what we can do is hopefully we can get a chunk of a Travelette and use that piece to kind of graft in here, because with the fuel tank and stuff like that. But that's, this is probably the worst thing that we have to fix. The fender in the front, I'm not even worried about. This is the worst part. But the bed's here. The fenders are here. It's really not smashed up. The tailgate, the bed's in decent shape. There's a ton of crap in the back, so that's all going to be scrap probably. The interior fairly complete. Both the seats are there. The dash, even the horn button and the instrument cluster is still there. All the knobs on the dash. As far as rare weird stuff, I think we both agree it's pretty complete. You know,
it's especially off that field. Everything in that field was a lottery winner of patina and color trucks that
yeah,
would have cost a crap ton just by how they looked, and the clips were stolen off of every single rig.
Right. And you said most of them were missing drivetrain too, right?
Yeah, ones with the clips off, they got to the drivetrain.
And this one still has motor, tranny, rear drive axle, everything's still in this truck, and the fuel tank, everything, which is crazy that it's still there.
Yeah, there was a couple super rare Diamond T's out there, but most of the stuff people scalp the parts, and then now people don't know what they are.
And you were saying it looked like that people have been taking parts off a lot of these rigs for a long time.
Yeah, somebody, I don't know when, probably back in the day, made off with a Mustang Fastback out of there.
Wow.
They probably had a couple other things, but...
So, I guess the plans for this, for me, I've talked to a lot of my friends that are international guys, this is one of 72. I'd love to put an LS in it and put modern drivetrain underneath it and make a cool driver, but it's so stinking rare that really what we're going to do is just preserve what's here. We're going to put a fender on it. We're going to fix the bumper and the grill and the emblems and headlights, stuff like that. We're going to see if the brakes are free, see if the motor spins. If the motor doesn't spin, I don't care about like a number matching motor, but we'll put the correct motor and tranny back in it, and we're just going to make it a driver as you see it. It's not going to be a show truck. It's going to be something that it's super rare and they don't exist, and it needs to stay the way it is. So a lot of people will agree with that. A lot of people won't agree with that. They'd be like, oh, you should paint it and blast it and da-da-da. And it's like, no, no, it just needs to stay just like this. So well, I really appreciate you being there and being willing to work with me to get it, because it's awesome, and it did, and I'm sure it's not the last Weird International that you and I rescue together in some form or another in the future, because I know you're always out looking for other stuff, and if there's an international, you'll probably give me a call next time. And yeah, I guess maybe we'll film getting it off the trailer, maybe we won't. I think it's going to be a forklift endeavor here, so we'll come back with you guys here in a minute. Take the roll back and back it up to it. Jack the truck up and put all 4 dollies on the truck on dollies. Roll that up onto the rollback tow truck and pull it all the way up there, and then pull the dollies out. So that's going to be the least invasive on your trailer, I think.
What's going on, Ben?
Oh, another day in paradise.
What are you gonna do now?
We were going to use the forklift to unload this. We're going to use the rollback tow truck, I think, because the forklift is not going to get underneath it the way we want it to, and I don't want to scratch up this trailer. So we're going to do change of plan, plan B. Get in between that sway bar. So you don't hit the sway bar. I don't know if it'll may have to go over the top. Nope. Let's see. Just go to the house.
You swing it out. Here you might get more. Lets you.
There you go. That should help you. Trying to pull it to one side so we don't damage the door on the passenger side.
Yep. Now the dollies are want to go that way.
You can probably control the back better, can't you?
Hopefully.
Yeah, there it goes. Now it's walking the passenger side. It's crazy those drums actually steer it. That's crazy. That actually works. Alright, so you guys saw us rodeo that thing off, Chase's trailer. That, believe it or not, that actually was a lot harder than it looked. Everything on this truck is brittle and old, like the rear drum. Chunk of the rear drum came off. It's okay. The truck's rare. This thing is like stupid rare. So what you guys will see in the future with us with this thing is Kevin and I are gonna see if the motor spins over, see if we can make it run. If we can make it run, we'll put some wheels and tires on it, check the brakes and stuff like that, and just see if we can get it to yard drive. But you'll have to come back for the next video for that, so you can watch and see us resurrect it from the dead, so to speak, and then we'll take you guys for a ride. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Comment down below, what would you do? Would you keep it original? Would you preserve it? Would you restore it? Would you resto mod it? Which we're not doing that, just, you know, spoiler alert, that's not happening. But what would you guys do with it? And would you have driven 1,671 miles one way through the night all the way there to make sure you got there before noon the next day so it didn't get crushed? Would you do that? If you would, comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.